Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new legal breaking reporting. Man, things are not looking good for Donald Trump. First, he got some bad news regarding his polling for reaching his 100th day, almost reaching his 100th day, his 100th day, his 100th day of his administration. That's what I was trying to say. Then we come to find out that the idiot was just impeached. But furthermore, we come to find out that the reason why he was impeached is because of him mainly abusing his power, but there's also other things that he has been impeached for. There is another video up on the channel right now. If you scroll down right below this video, there is the reporting that he has just been impeached by Michigan Representative Michigan Representative Thander. Let's get into this reporting to figure out what it is, what the bad news is regarding Trump and his polling. This article is by The Guardian. Ladies and gentlemen, the article is titled "Americans, including Republicans, Losing Faith in Trump. New Poll Reveals." And ladies and gentlemen, that article reads, "Americans, including some Republicans, are losing faith in Donald Trump across a range of key issues, according to polling released this week. One survey found a majority describing the president's second stint in the White House so far as, quote, scary, unquote, along with poor ratings on the economy and Trump's immigration policy. A survey released on Saturday found that only 24% of Americans believe Trump has focused on the right priorities as president. That poll comes as Trump's popularity is historically low for a leader this early in a term. More than half of voters disapprove of Trump's performance as president, and majorities oppose his tariff policies and slashing of the federal workforce. These scathing reviews come as Trump next week marks 100 days of his second stint in office and suggest Americans are already experiencing fatigue after a period that has been global financial market nosedives and chilling deportations, including of documented people. A poll by the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research published this weekend, found that even Republicans are not overwhelmingly convinced that Trump's attention has been in the right place. A narrow majority, 54% of Republicans surveyed, said that Trump is focused on the right priorities, while the president's numbers with crucial independent voters are much weaker. Just 9% of independents said that the president is focused on the right priorities, with 42% believing Trump is paying attention to the wrong issues. About 4 in 10 people in the survey, 39%, approve of how Trump is handling the presidency overall, and only about 40% of Americans approve of Trump's approach of to foreign policy, trade, negotiations, and the economy. Meanwhile, a New York Times Siena College poll of registered voters on Friday found that Trump's approval rating is 42% and just 29% among independent voters. More than half of voters said Trump is exceeding the powers available to him, and 59% of respondents said the president's second term has been, quote, scary. While Republican leaders typically receive strong scores on economic issues, Americans have been overwhelmed by Trump's performance. The Times survey found that only 43% of voters approve of how Trump is handling the economy, a stark turnaround from the Times poll in April 2024, which found that 64% approved of Trump's economy in his first term. Half of voters disapproved of Trump's trade policies with other countries, and 61% said a president should not have the authority to impose tariffs without congressional approval, while the the Times reported 63%, including 40% of Republicans, said a president should not be able to deport legal immigrants who have protested Israel. Further on immigration, a Washington Post ABC Ipsos poll on Friday found that 53% of Americans now disapprove of the president's handling of immigration matters, while 46% approve. In February, the majority was the other way, with half of those surveyed approving of Trump's approach on that issue. The Post reported that as support has drained away on this topic specifically, at this point 90% of Democrats and 56% of independents and 11% of Republicans dislike the way Trump is dealing with immigration. The poor reviews have dogged Trump all week. An Associated Press poll on Thursday found that about half of U.S. adults say that Trump's trade policies will increase prices a lot, and another 3 in 10 prices will go up somewhat. And half of Americans are extremely or very concerned about the possibility of the U.S. economy going into a recession in the next few months. Polling conducted by the Trump-friendly Fox News has brought little despite respite. A survey published on Wednesday found that just 38% of Americans approve of Trump on the economy, with 56% disapproving. The Fox News poll found that 58% of respondents disapproved of Trump's performance and 59% disapproved on inflation. Just 3 weeks into 3 in 10 Americans said they believed Trump's policies were helping the economy, and only 4 in 10 said Trump's policies will help the country. Among Generation Z, generally regarded as people born between 1995 and 2012, a staggering 69% told pollsters for an NBC Stay tuned survey that they don't approve of Trump's handling of the struggle of the economy and the cost of living. Gen Z participants complained of struggling to even pay rent in some places, let alone buy a home, and they worry about inflation. A majority of Generation Z people polled thought the country would be strong if more people lived by traditional binary gender roles, and more than 90% of those polled said they believed foreign students with visas or green cards should have the same due process protections as U.S. Americans, or excuse me, U.S. citizens. This comes aimed the Trump administration's declaring of the fact that of the non-fact that there is only two genders, male and female, and arresting and detaining some pro-Palestinian activists without due process. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this legal breaking reporting. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Firstly. Secondly, if you want to make sure you stay up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please hit the bell icon that is right next to the subscribe button down below. And hit the all notifications option. And hit the bell icon, and hit the all notifications option. It is located on the right hand side of the subscribe button down below the screen here. Thirdly, if you want to make sure that you also stay up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please follow me on my social medias that I will have linked down below. I am on Instagram, Snapchat, Threads, as well as TikTok. Fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the goal of 160 plus subscribers. The reason why I am saying 160 plus subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 160 subscribers, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve right after we reach and achieve the goal of 160 subscribers. Fifthly and lastly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive, please stay safe, and know that justice will prevail on the correct side of the law, despite Donald Trump and his illegal regime and administration's unconstitutional, illegal executive actions, executive orders, and behaviors.